Towards Ms. Bickerstaff. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, thank you. You have a seat in the witness stand. Keep your voice up nice and loud and speaking to the microphone to your left. Again when you're ready.
Thank you, Judge. Could you please state your name? And this record, back on July 5th of 2020, were you at 7627 Mack Avenue in the city of Detroit, County of Wayne?
Yeah.
And what's that location? Okay. What was going on at that building back on that day?
A party.
Who did you go to the party with?
My family.
Did you have a boyfriend at the time?
Yes, my baby's father.
Did he go with you to the party?
He was there. Yes.
Okay, what's his name?
Malik.
And while you're at the party, did someone other than your boyfriend start talking to you?
A lot of people talking to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, that is a quick question. While you're at the party, do any other males come up to you and kind of start talking to you or hitting on you while you're at the party?
Not hitting on me, but yeah.
Talking to you in some type of way?
Conversation.
Okay. And do you see any of those people in the courtroom today?
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell us where they're seated?
Well, no stipulate she wanted out to Ukraine.
So noted.
Right. And can you explain to us what do you know that person's, how do you know them by? What is it?
The childhood around me, you know,
Okay. What do you call them?
me.
Okay. Do you know his full name?
Right.
And what are you and Brandon talking about on this night at the party? That's fine. Does something happen with Brandon at the party?
Well, it was just like my baby's father kind of just didn't like him.
Okay. And does something happen based on him not liking that?
I agree. I was in the backyard and everybody heard a loud boom and a lot about the girl, you know, arguing. But then my baby's father came out the bathroom and down there about to cry, talking about he got pushed in the bathroom and the gun got pulled out of him.
Objection to hearsay.
The whole story.
The same.
Do you see who your boyfriend's in the bathroom with?
No, I never seen two people in the bathroom.
Okay. Now you said that your boyfriend was real upset when he came out of the bathroom, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you said he was about to cry, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And did you talk to him right after he came out of the bathroom?
Yes.
And Judge, I would ask that those statements not be stricken as statements of excited utterance. She did say that he was very upset after this. He was in the bathroom, he was about to cry, and he said made these statements right after this happened. I believe those statements are present sense impression and excited utterance based on the witness's testimony.
Okay. Mr. Nineheis?
Judge, I just don't know what would have caused him to be upset yet, so I guess we have to use hearsay to get out why he was upset. What action made him have a what made him have an excited utterance? What action caused it, I guess. So I don't think we can rule on it that way yet. So I would still object.
All right, I'll take it.
Thank you. What did your boyfriend tell you happened in the bathroom?
He said he just put his gun out on me and left my name for years and yeah.
When he said he, did you know who he was talking about?
No, at that moment, no, I didn't, because he didn't even know his name. So,
Your boyfriend didn't know whose name.
Brandon, he didn't.
Okay. And what happens next?
He went to my uncle.
When you say he, who do you mean?
Malik went to my uncle's on Roosevelt, and he basically just telling him what had happened, like, it's a gun in here and it's not supposed to be, because it was security here, so we don't even know.
Objection to, is it still under excited utterance, or what is he telling his uncle? Was she even there?
I was standing right there, yeah.
And So Malik tells your uncle, let me ask you this, what's your uncle's name?
Eric,
What's Eric's last name?
right?
And what happens after Malik tells this information to your uncle?
My uncle goes to try to talk to Brandon. And in that moment, it was like a lot of people just gathered around. But I just remember a drink being poured on me, and after that, it was like chaos.
Let me ask you this. Do you hear Brandon say anything?
Nothing.
Do you, at some point, did you speak with the police about this incident?
2 years later, now,
Do you remember speaking with the police?
I never spoke to the police for 2 years. Never.
Ms. Rucker, do you remember at all speaking with police the morning after this incident happened?
No, I remember them speaking with my mother, but I never spoke to anyone. That's why I was confused when it came up now.
Okay. I'm going to approach with a video. All right, Judge, may I approach the witness?
Okay.
All right, Ms. Rucker, I'm showing you this video. Do you recognize that person on the right hand side?
It's your face, no problem.
Do you recognize that person there?
Is that me? I don't remember that. That's me, I don't.
Well, does it look like you? I don't want to tell you.
I can't see your face, so I don't know. Tell me, I don't know. If that is me, I don't remember.
Do you see the face there? Okay, does it look like you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would maybe hearing the audio help you? Would you recognize your own voice?
I mean, it looks like I got the same face, so I'm pretty sure that's not me.
Okay. So based on this, do you think you did speak to the police back on July 5th of 2020?
Yeah.
Okay, you just don't remember?
I don't.
Okay, that's fair. Would it be fair to say that was over 3.5 years ago at this point?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So do you remember back on July 5th of 2020 telling police that your boyfriend and Brandon got into it, and that's when Brandon said, "You don't want no gun play"?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, would watching a portion of the video maybe refresh your recollection?
I mean, it can refresh whatever, but I still don't remember.
Okay, that's okay. I'm gonna play it now and you see if you remember that part, okay? The record I'm playing is 12:02.
She just told him he's running, breaking in there. So then they after that, that's when they got into it. And mama said, that was her son, all that other stuff. Then that's when Brandon said, y'all don't want no gunplay, all this other stuff.
Okay, does that sound like you?
Yeah.
Okay, do you remember saying that?
No, it's 3 years ago. Of course, after the fact, I might have knew every given detail, but
Okay,
now I really don't care.
okay. Would it be fair to say, I'm sorry, Judge, if I could just have one more. Would it be fair to say you don't remember everything that happened back on July 5th of 2020 as you sit here today?
Yeah.
Okay. And would it be fair to say you had a much better memory the morning after it happened on July 5th of 2020?
Yeah.
Okay. And would it be fair to say that there's a video recording that exists of you giving your account of what happened back on that day?
Yeah.
And you recognized yourself in that video that I just played?
Yeah.
And Judge, pursuant to MRE 8035, past recollection recorded, I asked that the portion of the video that was played come in as substantive evidence of the witness's past knowledge of this incident.
Judge, under rule 106, I'd like to play the whole thing as rule of completeness.
Okay. Admit it.
Judge, the witness's statement is about an hour, a little over an hour long. The people would have no problem admitting your statement.
You could play that portion of the video that you deem relevant. Mr. Nineheis, if there's something you want to direct the court's attention to, you may play those portions of it as well.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, Judge, I just request that they all get played simultaneously as rule 106 says.
Judge, I don't think
I
that's
don't need to listen to an hour video. If there's something that you want to direct me to, you can do that.
Thank you.
I'll just still make sure my objection is noted for the record that I request through rule 106 that it get played at the same time as the rule of completeness states.
As I indicated, sir, if you want to direct the court's attention to something that you deem is incomplete, you may play it during cross-examination.
Now, after, just kind of to jump a little bit forward, you said your uncle then tries to find Brandon, is that correct?
No, he didn't try to find him because everybody was at that point walking to the door.
Okay, explain what's happening then after your boyfriend tells your uncle what had just happened.
He told him what happened. My uncle asked him who it was and stuff. Mind him, Malik doesn't know these names. So he was basically just trying to point him out where. Pointed him out.
And I'm gonna stop you there. Brandon.
Malik's pointed Brandon out to the area.
Judge, can we stop any potential hearsay? Just, no, I know she's talking a lot about what Malik said, so I just want to keep it.
I heard her say somebody pointed somebody out.
Yeah,
That goes up to identification. Overruled, not hearsay.
Malik pointed him out to my uncle over there.
Pointed who out?
Brandon.
Okay.
And then my uncle, I don't know if right in the moment they walked outside or they was talking inside, I don't remember. But soon as the door opened to where my uncle was and Brandon was walking outside together, all hell just broke loose.
And do you remember back on July 5th of 2020, telling the police that your uncle grabs Brandon. Brandon puts his hand in his pants and said, "You better back up before I air this out." Do you remember that being said?
Yes.
And what does it mean to you if someone says, "Before I air this place out"? What does that mean? What did you take it to?
That he was about to shoot the builder. I mean, only because Malik said that he had a gun. Nobody ever seen the gun.
And you also remember telling police that Brandon put his hand in his pants at that point? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Now, you had said kind of all hell breaks loose, is that correct?
Yes.
Can you kind of explain to us the best you can what you see happening back
I was in the doorway, like not right up close, but to the point where I could see everything happening. My uncle, they instantly walked outside, and not even a second, 2 seconds later, we could hear gunshots. And someone's dead on the ground. My uncle's jumping up and down, and he's saying, "He just shot me. He just shot me."
Who's saying that?
My uncle Eric.
Okay, did he get shot?
Yeah.
And I want to kind of back up and just kind of clarify. So you said you're standing in the doorway, is that correct?
Yeah.
Can you explain to us where in the building that is in relation to where your uncle and Brandon are?
My uncle was on the right-hand side of the door. The friend was on the left-hand side, just standing back to security. The door is like in the middle. It's not really windows, but
You say
it's
the,
only one way in, one way out.
you say the friend, you,
Somebody's friend. Everybody kept saying friend. Nobody knows the dude. I don't know.
okay, so just, there's another person
Yeah.
that you're not sure who it is.
Mhm.
Okay. And about how many shots do you hear? Can you give us an estimate about how many you think? What do you do after you hear the shots?
I duck. But when we ducking, I'm like in the doorway, so it's really not open. I don't know why that is. I went on the ground.
Did you see who was doing the shooting?
No, no.
Were you able to see Brandon with any weapon?
No.
Judge, if I could just have a minute. All right, and Ms. Rucker, back on September 22nd of 2023, do you remember speaking with police in regard to this incident?
Yes. Can I say something about one line?
No. Sorry. All right. Judge, permission to approach the witness?
Okay.
Ms. Rucker, I'm going to show you people's proposed exhibit 9. Do Do you recognize the sheet I have here?
Yeah.
Okay, what is this?
This is the paper that the detective gave me before they start talking to me.
Okay, did they give you those some instructions before you started?
Not really. Not for real. They just said they're gonna ask me the same thing they asked me back in 2020. And they didn't give me instructions.
Did you sign this form indicating that you understood about looking at the pictures?
Yeah.
Okay, does this form so clearly reflects what you were showing back on that day?
Yeah.
Okay, Judge, at this time I move for the admission of People's Exhibit 9.
No objection for exam, Judge.
Admit it.
All right, and then did the police officer show you some pictures?
Yeah.
Okay, did you pick someone out of the pictures?
Yeah.
Okay, who did you pick out?
Yeah.
Okay, and what did Brandon do? Did you, let me ask you this.
I didn't physically see with my own eyes.
That's what I'm asking.
Shit. No.
Thank you. Oh. So just to clarify. So on the form, would it be fair to say it says that's Brandon, he was the one that was shooting? That's what's written on there, correct?
I didn't write that, but yeah.
Okay, but that's what you heard from someone, correct?
Yeah.
As you indicated, you didn't see it yourself, correct? Okay, thank you. Who did you hear that from?
Everybody, my uncle there, the one who shot, me.
And where, do you know where on your Uncle Eric's body was he shot?
He didn't have a shirt on, so.
I passed over this.
Mr. Rucker, what time do you arrive at that party?
Before it started, I usually go set up, so,
Okay, so you're there.
yeah, for a minute. Like, afternoon, it was daylight, before it got dark.
Okay, so you got there in the afternoon on July 4th,
Yeah,
and it was a barbecue at that time,
yeah,
and the whole party?
yeah, then the party.
Okay, and it was just going on basically all night.
Mhm.
Is that a yes?
Yeah,
Sorry, I have to say yes or no because,
yeah,
thank you. And I'm not gonna try to trip you up, I'm just asking you questions, okay? So, what time does Malik arrive there?
Malik came about 30 minutes after me.
Okay, so he gets there to set up as well.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. And you and Malik and everybody are just hanging out until at some point it gets crowded?
yeah.
How many people do you think are there at that time?
This be a big crowd, so I'm gonna say probably like 60 people.
Okay. So there's about 60 people there. Is that as busy as it gets?
Well, yeah, cause my uncle is strict on like who comes in and out. We kind of know everybody who's usually there, so it's not like an outcast party.
Okay. Thank you. An outcast party means people who are just unknown.
Yeah,
Okay, so this is like a friend party.
yeah,
And I guess at some point you see Brandon at the party.
yeah,
He starts talking to you.
yeah,
And while he's talking to you, Malik comes up.
yeah,
And Malik's not happy.
you know,
He's not happy because Brandon's talking to you.
yeah.
Okay, and him and Brandon exchange words.
No, he didn't say anything. Malik said something to me.
Okay, so after he said something to you, what happens?
He pulled me away.
Malik pulled you away?
Malik pulled me away from talking with Brandon. And I went back and started talking to him in the backyard.
So then you went back outside and talked to Brandon in the backyard.
Yeah,
And when you went out to the backyard, where was Malik at that time?
inside the building.
Okay, so then you're outside talking to Brandon again.
Yeah.
And what happens, when you're done talking with Brandon out there?
He walked back in.
So you and Brandon
Brandon walked back in the building. Malik is upset. I'm getting cussed out.
Okay, so you and Brandon walk in the building, Malik's in the building already, and he looks upset,
Yeah,
and he comes and starts cussing you out.
yeah.
Okay, what happens after he cusses you out?
Party went back to normal. Well, at that time, this is when the party had started, even when I was talking, when the party had started. But we just all heard like a big boom,
So,
like a slam.
okay, I'm just trying to clarify, okay, because I want to understand. Now, when you go out and talk to Brandon in the backyard, it's still before the party really starts?
No, the party had started at that time.
Okay, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
okay. So the party's ongoing, you're done talking to Malik, and then where are you when you hear this loud bang?
Right by the bathroom door. I was so confused.
Okay, so, but where's Malik at that time?
I guess he was inside the bathroom. I didn't see him.
Okay, so after Malik cussed you out, where did he go?
He was standing next to me, and then we heard loud girls, and 2 seconds later, he wasn't there anymore.
Okay, so you heard a loud noise, distracted you, and you couldn't find Malik.
Yeah,
Okay, and were you by the bathroom at that time?
yeah.
Okay, and the bathroom door, did you check that, see if it was open or closed?
No, because girls was coming in and out of it all night, so nobody really talked to each other.
Okay, so the girls were using the bathroom, so the doors were closed a lot.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
and
the
then,
door doesn't close all the way, so you will have to slam it to shut it all the way.
okay, was that the bang you heard?
Yeah,
Okay, so you heard the door slam shut?
Yeah.
Okay, and then how long, what happens after you hear the door slam shut?
everybody was still partying, like a normal party.
Okay,
And Malik walked out the bathroom.
okay, how long after the bang of the door?
Oh, not even long, probably like 5 minutes.
Okay, so about 5 minutes later, and again, it was 2020, so a long time ago. So sometime later, Malik comes out.
Yeah.
Okay, comes out by himself?
Yes, from what I saw.
Okay.
I saw.
Okay, where's E at this time?
Standing at the front door.
So, and E's Eric, right?
Yeah,
Your uncle?
Yeah.
I just wanna make sure. Do you prefer I call him Eric now or E?
it doesn't matter.
Okay, so Eric's at the front door.
Yeah,
Malik comes out and does Malik go talk to Eric?
no, Malik comes to say something to me.
Okay, he says something to you and he's shaken up, right?
Yeah,
And do you see,
Is that a yes?
I said,
sorry. So after Malik comes out, do you see anyone else come out of the bathroom?
no.
So you're not paying attention to anyone in the bathroom?
No, I was so busy. Malik was so mad. It was like, cause we're always fighting. So I really had my guard up with him. I really wasn't worried about nothing else. But when he walked up to me, like he had tears in his eyes, like he was that mad.
Okay, he was that mad, and he comes and talks to you.
Yeah,
Does he tell you what happened in the bathroom?
yes.
And he says that, but he doesn't know who was in the bathroom with him by that time.
No, he doesn't know his name, so he just kept saying the boy who was talking to me.
Okay. So, and then at that time, when does Malik go talk to Eric?
As soon as he gets done cussing me out, he walked straight up to mom.
Okay, so he tells you first about what happened in there, and then he cusses you out again?
No, he told me when he came out the bathroom, that's him cussing me out. He's yelling while he's telling me.
Okay,
Basically.
okay, I just want to understand, so, okay, so then he goes and talks to Eric,
Yeah,
and you're watching what your boyfriend does?
I walked with him.
Oh, okay, thank you, so you walked with him to talk to Eric. You go to the front door. And you and Eric or I guess Malik and Eric talks, and you stand and observe.
Yeah.
Then Eric walks back to the bathroom?
No, he never walked back to the bathroom. Everybody was still standing up front when they were talking.
When you say everybody, who's everybody?
Me, Malik, Eric, Brandon was up there, everybody was right there.
Okay, so Brandon at some point shows up and talks by you and Eric.
Yeah.
Do you walk up with Brandon at the same time as Malik, or
No,
does Brandon
he
come?
just made his way up there. I never seen him come out the bathroom. I never seen him after that point where Malik told me that.
Okay.
So we were all just right there.
Okay, so now everyone's at the front door. It's you, Eric, Malik, Brandon, anyone else?
I mean, girls, it was a party, so yeah, a lot of people standing right there.
Okay, a lot of people standing by the door.
Yeah.
Is the door open or closed?
Doors open.
Okay, and then do you see Eric and Brandon leave?
I see Eric try to like make his way to Brandon being outside, so they could talk outside instead of inside.
Okay, can you explain it to me?
He basically, I don't know the conversation, he really wasn't paying attention. But he told him like, come on, you gotta go, and stuff like that, or whatever.
Did he grab him or just put a hand over his shoulder?
He didn't grab him, I didn't see him grab him.
So they just had a conversation and then they both start walking out together?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And when they walk outside, are you still watching them?
Yeah.
Okay, and who's outside at this time?
Security, Malik, not my Malik, it's another Malik.
Okay, so there's another Malik out there. Do you know who that Malik's government name at all?
His name is Malik.
No, his last name, sorry.
No,
That was a bad question.
the guy who passed away, my uncle Eric. That was it. That was all
So just,
that I saw in my house.
so it's, just going through this again. Malik, we don't know his last name.
Mm-mm.
That's a yes, correct?
Yeah.
Eric,
The security,
the security guy, who's tall, right?
yes,
And the guy who died.
yes.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So where's Brandon at this time?
I didn't see him.
He wasn't even outside.
I didn't see him
Okay.
outside, but I seen my uncle and Brandon walked out first. When he walked outside, he walked out first, then my uncle walked outside.
Okay, okay,
But when they got outside, I didn't see him.
okay. So you don't know, he might have left.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, are you watching? What happens when those people are outside?
It's literally a split second, you just heard gunshots, so I wasn't really trying to peek my head out to see what's going on in the altercation.
Okay, now. When you know that video that, do you remember anything about that day? Talking to the police that day?
On the fifth,
Yes.
you know,
Remember telling them about how your mom took?
yes, I do remember that, but she still talks about it right now.
Okay, so can you just explain to me? So at some point, you said Brandon ditched the gun. Did you see him ditch the gun?
I can see him eating cannibal from the jump.
Okay, so you never saw Brandon with a gun?
No. Everybody just kept saying he had one.
Okay, but you-
And security checked him twice, and didn't find the gun, so that's why I was confused once again.
okay. Now, did you see your mom take Brandon to the gas station?
No, my mom had already left.
Okay, so what was this what was this we're talking about?
My mom said that,
No, I didn't know what you know.
well, I wasn't at the gas station with her, I wasn't with her.
Okay, so you didn't see your mom leave?
No.
Your mom,
I knew she was gone before the gunshot.
okay. Did you know she was with Brandon at some point?
You know,
Okay. Did you ever learn that she was with Brandon at some point?
yeah, right after, when she came back.
When she came back from the,
So, the gas station.
okay, so she came back up to Mac.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, well, she's at Mac. You see her and Brandon?
You know, she tells, well, she's asking what's going on, because she sees someone on the ground, police being called, my uncle's jumping up and down, she sees all this, it's right aftermath.
Yeah.
So she's asking questions, what happened, who did this?
Okay, so she's asking questions about what, who, when, where.
Yes,
Okay, and then, does Brandon get in the car to go to the gas station?
no, like, he had to already be at the gas station.
And Judge, I object, I think this witness lacks personal knowledge. She said she doesn't know about this
No.
situation, she wasn't there.
I just know that
Hold on,
my mom
Wait a
said,
minute. Sustain.
Yeah, I'm sure, you can't tell me what your mom said. What's your mom's,
Letitia,
Letitia what? Okay. Can you spell that last name for us?
MCCAF.
Okay, thank you very much. So, but you see Miss McCall get back to the scene
Yes, I understand.
by herself. And at some point, you saw Mr. Crane in a Charger?
Who's Mr. Crane?
Well, do you know Brandon's last name?
No,
Okay, did you see Brandon in a Charger?
I didn't see that.
Oh, so you didn't see him after he walked outside at all?
No.
Okay, nothing further, Judge, thank you.
Any redirect?
No, Judge, thank you.
Thank you. You may step down.
And Judge, I would just indicate this witness is also here on the detainer. I do have a termination form for her. She's free to leave.
Okay. Any other witnesses for the people?
Yes, Judge. At this time, this people would call Officer Evita Rutledge to the stand.
But also, I'm getting a run around. They just told me to go downstairs to get my stuff.
You gotta go this way, when you came in.
Oh, sorry.
Officer, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please give your name and spelling to the court reporter right behind you.
Officer Evita Rutledge.
Spell it for her, please.
GAVITA-RUT-LE.
Okay, please have a seat in the witness stand. You may begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Judge. Can you please state your name for the record?
Officer Evita Rutledge.
And how are you currently employed?
I am an officer of the Detroit Police Department.
Are you with a particular unit or group?
I work at the 7th precinct.
And at the 7th precinct, are you a patrol officer, detective? What role do you have at the 7th precinct?
Patrol officer.
And were you working in that capacity back on July 5th of 2020?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, back on July 5th of 2020, did you receive a run to the area of 7627 Mac in the city of Detroit County?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was the nature of that run?
It was a GSW shooting room
And you go there alone or with a partner?
with a partner.
And how were you dressed back on that day?
Full uniform.
Can you explain what that means, please?
I have a full uniform representing the city of Detroit, officer badge, name, vest, belt.
Great, thank you. And was your kind of body camera back on this day?
Yes, ma'am.
And you said you were working with a partner?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was his?
None that left. Officer Miller.
And was he? Can you spell that for the court reporter, please?
NDELE.
And was he dressed in the same type of uniform you were?
Yes, ma'am.
And to the best of your knowledge, did he also have a body camera on?
Yes, ma'am.
And how did you arrive at that location?
In our scout car.
Would that have been a fully marked lights and sirens scout car?
Yes, ma'am.
And what do you see when you first arrived to that location?
I saw 2 males, 1 individual went into the location.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna back up. So when you first are dispatched, where do you go?
I went southbound on Fields from Mac.
And what type of location, let me ask you this. Do you go to an after hours party location, or where do you first respond to?
I went to the shooting scene. It was an after hours location.
And are you dispatched anywhere after that?
Yes, ma'am. I went to a location off of Van Dyke, south of Mac, for a person with a weapon. Police one.
Now I want to back up. When you make the location of the after hours, what do you observe when you're at the after hours location?
I observed people on the sidewalk, officers on scene, and a supervisor on the scene.
Now explain the second run that you make for a person with a weapon. Where do you go for that?
I went to 3450 Van Dyke.
And about how far is that from the after hours location?
About less than a mile.
And what do you observe when you make that location?
I saw 2 individuals in front of the location. As I approached it, one of the individuals went into the house, and there was one still on the sidewalk in front of the house.
And when you make that second location, do you have any information as to the identity of the suspect from the after hours?
Yes, ma'am. I was told that the suspect of the shooting was a male named Brandon.
And did you have any description on his person or his clothing?
He was wearing a white shirt, I believe dark colored shorts.
And that's the information you had when you made that second location, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now explain when you get to the second location, do you make contact with that person outside?
Yes, ma'am.
And explain how that occurs, explain what happens.
I talked to him, I asked him for his name, he told me his name was Brandon, and then we got out and attempted to apprehend.
What happens when you attempt to apprehend him?
He pushed us off and fled southbound on Van Dyke.
And do you notice anything while he's fleeing?
Yes, ma'am. My friend was in front of me, I saw a gun fall onto the sidewalk from where the direction the man was fleeing.
And earlier today, did you have the opportunity to review some body camera video?
Yes, ma'am.
And did those two body camera videos fairly and accurately depict you responding to that second location on July 5th of 2020?
Yes, ma'am.
And Judge, at this time, I move for the admission of People's Exhibit 4 and 5.
No objection.
Admit it?
Permission to publish?
Yes.
And for the record, I'm playing People's Exhibit 5 at 38 seconds.
Why is he rushing to the door? What's up, man?
Oh, that's my opinion. It's just a lot going on. Shot. Somebody just got shot. We just had to get out of here.
What's your name?
My name is Brandon.
Your name is Brandon?
Yeah.
Okay.
We ain't on nothing. That's my uncle. That's my blood uncle.
That's
He
your
just
blood
like y'all.
uncle?
He used to that type of stuff.
Really? Hey,
Yeah.
what's his name?
His name is Wilt.
Who?
Wilt.
Wilt?
Yeah, he's in the house. He went in the house. Yeah.
Hey, Wilt!
I don't be on that. He be on that. What I do?
Put your hands behind your back, man. Priority!
For the record, I paused the video at 1 minute and 36 seconds. Officer, can you tell us what we just saw in that video?
Yes, ma'am. We identified Brandon, attempted to secure him, arrest him, and he fled southbound Van Dyke.
And what happened while he was fleeing?
He tossed the firearm from his person.
And for the record, I'm going to publish People's Exhibit 4. And for the record, I'm publishing People's Exhibit 4 at 48 seconds.
Why is he rushing to the door? What's up, man?
Oh, that's my. He ain't on that.
Okay.
What's your name?
It's just a lot going on. Somebody just got shot. I ain't mean to say pop. Somebody just got shot. We just had to get out of here.
What's your name?
My name is Brandon.
Your name is Brandon?
Yeah.
Okay.
We ain't on nothing. That's my uncle. That's my blood uncle.
That's your blood uncle?
His name is Wilt.
Who?
Wilt.
Wilt?
Yes, he's in the house. He in the house.
You in the house?
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, Wilt!
I don't be on that.
Behind your back, man. Priority! Hurt running southbound on Van Dyke. 79.
video at 1 minute and 47 seconds. And officer, why is Brandon being detained at this point?
Probable cause for the shooting, Mac, sorry.
And for the record, I'm going to jump to 2 minutes and 45 seconds of the video.
One block west of Fields. Subject detained.
All I did was run. All I did was run. I ain't do nothing. All I did was run. Got it, right? Huh? What? What? I ain't do nothing. I promise. I ain't do nothing. All I did was run. I got 2 kids. I got time for that. I act like yo, jumping out for my uncle. All I did was be drunk. I got a gram of weed on me. I ain't do nothing. Can I pull my pants? Can I pull my pants, sir? Can I pull my pants, sir? I ain't doing nothing. Bro, I ain't do nothing.
Go thin bills.
Please. I got 2 kids, bro. 2 wonderful children, bro.
We're going back to
I ain't doing
Van
nothing.
Dyke and Mac.
All I did was drink a little bit too much. I ain't a drinker. I'm just blown.
Go to the fields.
Okay. I shouldn't even never ran, bro. I apologize to y'all. I got 2 kids, bro. Man, you got them? Run my name. Hear me, beautiful? I ain't do nothing. I ain't did nothing wrong ever. Ever. I ain't never did nothing wrong. I swear. I'm pulling my pants up, not turning around. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You hear me? Please, my name is Brandon Jordan Crane. I really sincerely apologize. And I did the weed thing. Hey, can I be honest? No. That right there? Uncle What just gave that to me. Uncle What just gave it to me before y'all pulled up. Uncle What just gave it to me before y'all pulled up.
No.
Uncle What just gave it to me before y'all pulled up.
7-9. 1 weapon recovered.
All right, I'm sorry.
For the record, I paused the video at 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Now, officer, is it fair to say that the individual in this video identified himself as Brandon Jordan Crane?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And officer, did you also see a firearm on the sidewalk?
Yes, ma'am.
What was done with that firearm?
It's based on the evidence.
Okay. Do you recall the evidence tag number of that firearm?
I do not.
Was looking at a copy of the tracker or property list recollection?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Judge, I do believe we have a stipulation that the firearm was placed on evidence as evidence tag item number 1.
Correct, Judge.
So noted.
Perhaps the witness can-
Pardon me. So you get dispatched to an address on Mac
Yes, sir.
on July 5th, 2020, early in the morning,
Yes, sir.
like 5 a.m., 4 a.m., 2 a.m.
I don't recall.
Okay, thank you. And you're there, you go there kind of for moral support.
Here, great question.
You go to that GSW scene for moral support.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And at that time, you get the information that the shooter was Brandon. Who do you get that from?
Sergeant Bryson, 7th Precinct.
Okay, so Sergeant Bryson tells him that. Did Sergeant Bryson tell you where he learned that from?
She stated it was from the witness.
She said it was from witness, okay. And did she give you the name of the witness?
No, sir.
Okay. And then at one point, you're directed to 3450 Van Dyke for a person with a gun?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And as you're driving there, you notice that there's actually two people in front of the Van Dyke address arguing.
Yes, sir.
One of them is a black male, light complected, about 5'10",
Yes, sir.
white shirt with dark colored shorts.
Yes, sir.
The other one is a black male, dark complected,
Yes, sir.
no shirt, red shorts,
Yes, sir.
and blue jeans,
Yes, sir.
about 5'4".
Yes, sir.
And the light complected male ends up walking to the residence when your car pulls up.
Yes, sir.
Actually, pretty quickly goes into the house.
Yes, sir.
Billy Pro Judge, thank you.
Any redirect?
No, Judge, thank you.
Thank you, officer. You may step down.
And Judge, for People's Exhibit 6, we do have a stipulation. Permission to publish to the court.
So stipulated for exam purposes only, Mr. Nineheist?
Yes, Judge, thank you.
Admitted?
And Judge, the stipulation reads that on July 5th of 2020, evidence technician Carrington Sheridan of the Detroit Police Department responded to 7627 Mack Avenue for a fatal shooting, homicide, and non-fatal shooting. The scene takes place at 7627 Mack, a brick two-story business. In front of the business are 9mm Luger fired shell casings, placards 1 through 9, strewn on the north sidewalk and curb. These casings were collected and placed on evidence. Evidence tag 2 is documented as being 9mm fired casings marked as placards 1 through 9.
All right, court receives those stipulations.
And Judge, at this time, the people would move for the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit number 7, which is a Michigan State Police lab report pursuant to MCL 76611B.
Any objection?
Judge, I don't think I can make an objection due to the MCL, so no.
You can, but it'll be overruled. Admitted?
Right, so no objection.
Admitted?
Permission to publish to the court?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge. This is Land Report MD 20-1494, Record 1. Evidence is Container 1, DPD tag number 1, a 9mm Luger caliber Glock semi-automatic pistol. And Container 2, also marked as DPD tag number 2, is 9mm Luger caliber fired cartridge cases. And analyst Brian Grabowski of the Michigan State Police did opine that items 21 through 29, the fired cartridge casings, and item 6-1 are identified as being fired from item 1, the pistol. And at this time, the people's last witness would be Detective Mitchell.
Okay. Tell the truth, the whole truth. Give your name to the court report yet?
Yes.
No, you have to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Judge,
Go ahead,
Judge,
take the stand.
Judge, can you do the oath again? You broke up and then you froze. So he wouldn't
Oh,
hear.
okay. All right. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir. May begin when you're ready.
John Mitchell,
And how are you currently employed?
a detective with the City of Detroit Homicide Section.
And what is your role in the investigation in a homicide and shooting from July 5th of 2020?
I am the current OIC officer in charge of that.
And were you the officer in charge back on July 5th of 2020?
No,
Back on September 9th of 2023, did you take part in a six-pack being administered to a William Weems?
yes,
And were you present when that six-pack was administered?
I was.
And did you see which picture he picked out of the six-pack?
I did.
And who is it that he identified out of the six-pack?
Defendant, Mr. Crane,
You have his full name?
Brandon Crane.
Fantastic.
Sir, so when did you get assigned to this case?
I don't remember the exact date. I want to say it was early September.
Of 2023?
Correct.
Okay. And at that time, what investigation steps did you take at that time?
At that time, I began to review the file, and I discovered that Mr. Crane would already be charged with the CCW in regards to this case. I went through the file and I attempted to locate witnesses.
Okay. And did you locate some witnesses?
I did. Well, two, correct, yes.
Which two?
Mr. Weems and Miss Nia Rucker.
And Ms. Rucker and Mr. Weems?
Correct.
Thank you. And at some point, you met Mr. Weems in the Third Circuit Court, right?
Correct.
When he was there for his own case.
Yes.
And that's when you did the six-pack photo lineup.
Correct.
And did you do a six-pack photo lineup with Nia Rucker as well?
I did.
Sorry?
I did.
Okay.
Well, not personally, but she was given one. Yes.
Okay. Were you there to observe that one as well?
No.
Okay. And did you ever get the Instagram photos that Ms. Rucker shared with the previous OIC?
There is a picture that appears to be an Instagram photo. How that was obtained, I do not know.
Okay. Did you watch the interrogation of Ms. Rucker?
I did.
Did you see when she sent over more than one picture to the other officer in charge?
I do.
Okay, so there was more than one picture sent to
Yes.
him? So did you get those yet?
I did not.
Okay. And I guess, did you promise Mr. Weems anything for his cooperation?
No.
Okay. And nothing further, Judge, thank you.
All right, any redirect?
No, Judge, thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. You may step down.
People have no further witnesses at this time.
No witnesses for the defense, Judge.
All right, people.
Judge, the people would move to bind the defendant over on the counts containing amended information that be first-degree premeditated murder as to Brandon Gray, felony firearm assault with intent to murder as to Mr. Weems, felony firearm assault with intent to murder as to Eric Wright, a felony firearm and assaulting and resisting, obstructing a police officer, specifically police officer DeVito Rutledge and her partner, Officer Nadell. And the people would save their argument for rebuttal.
Mr. Nineheis.
Judge, as to let's start with the resisting obstructing charge first, because that one was Officer Rutledge. Now, in order for a resisting obstructing charge to be bound over, it has to show that the defendant assaulted, battered, resisted, or obstructed the police officer, Rutledge, or NDELE. And second, the defendant knew and reason to know that the person was a police officer. And third, that the officer gave the defendant a lawful command, was making a lawful arrest, or was otherwise performing a lawful act. And at this time, I don't believe we found out any information that she is performing a lawful act. She was actually just detaining him at that time. She testified she wasn't arresting him, she was detaining him on probable cause. And I would say
Well,
that is
what
not,
makes that act unlawful?
I would say it's not unlawful, Judge, but I'm saying it's not a lawful act.
Why isn't it?
Because she's just detaining him for further investigation. She's not arresting him.
That's a lawful act. What do you mean?
I mean, it's either he was arrested and free to leave, or he was just told to turn around and then he took off. There was no command that we're arresting you. There's nothing about detaining you. She testified today she detained. It was just put your hands on your back, and then he ran.
And you think that's okay?
I think that if you're not given a command from the police, Judge, People versus Shabbat says you can leave them alone. So if the police just tell you to stop something, they need to have more than probable cause. They need to have at least probable cause to stop you and demand you to arrest and stuff. People versus Shabbat, like I said. So that's why I don't think the resisting obstruction applies here, because the officers never gave him a lawful command, never said anything except that they.
How about put your hands behind your back? That's a lawful command, right?
Well, I guess if there's, well, I guess if he was being under arrest, or can a cop just come up to anyone on the street and say, put your hands behind your back?
The officer was otherwise acting within their lawful duty. They're investigating. They tell the defendant to put his hands behind his back, and he takes off running and throws a gun.
Okay, now, I guess.
Not your strongest argument. You have more?
Yeah, assault with intent to murder. They have to have a proven attempt to actually, intent to actually murder somebody. In this case, there's no evidence that the gun was ever even pointed at Mr. Wright, Eric Wright, who's I think that's the second assault with intent to murder charge. He was apparently, based on other witnesses, shot as well, but we don't know exactly where he was shot, how bad it was, anything. We don't know if the gun was even pointed at him, if it was a ricochet. We don't know anything about how he got hurt. We just know that he said he got hurt to his niece, who said she could see the spot on his stomach. He wasn't wearing a shirt that day. As to Mr. Weems, the security guard, who was the first person testified, there was no actual intent to kill at that time. He said that the person just shot up in the air, and he actually said he got a graze wound on the left-hand side of his outside of his thigh. I don't remember if it was right or left side. So at that point, it doesn't show that there was a gun even pointed at Mr. Weems or aimed and shot at him. So I based those two on the actual intent.
So I wonder how he got shot in the leg.
Exactly, Judge. I wonder how he got shot in the leg too. So I'd say there's no intent proven to murder at that time, either Weems or Wright. And then as to first degree murder, Judge, you can use obviously circumstantial evidence, the type of shooting and stuff like that. But then again, it was just shot up into the air and just started shooting out into the crowd. It wasn't purposefully, or not even the crowd, just started shooting out into the group of 4 people per Mr. Weems. And I would say that wasn't an intentional, forethought out thing. It was spur of the moment. The person said they were mad. There was an argument going on between Mr. Wright and Mr. Brandon Crane. That's the testimony from Mr. Weems. So there was adequate provocation for a second-degree murder charge. Thank you.
People?
Yes, Judge. First, as to the assaulting, resisting, and obstructing, I do believe that was a lawful order given by the police officer. They said, put your hands behind your back, to which Mr. Crane pulled his hands away and ran. Additionally, Judge, I would indicate that Mr. Crane admitted to the assault discharge on the way back after he was detained by the officer when he said, I'm sorry, I ran, I fled, I'm sorry. So he admitted to this count. As to the assault with intent to murder, as I know the court is aware, in the jury instruction 1621 inferring statement 9, the instruction indicates that you can infer that the defendant intended to kill if the defendant used a dangerous weapon in a way that is likely to cause death. Mr. Weems indicated that gun was pointed at him at the time when Mr. Crane pulled the gun. Additionally, the testimony was that Mr. Wright was shot in the stomach. So, Judge, I would indicate it's fair to infer that the defendant used that gun in a dangerous way, pointing it at multiple individuals and shooting them in the stomach, and Mr. Weems being grazed in the leg. As to the first-degree murder count, Judge, Ms. Rucker did testify, and in her statement did indicate that Brandon made the statement, "You don't want no gunplay," in the after hours before the shooting. And she also indicated that Brandon said, Brandon put his hands in his pants and said, "You better back up before I air this place out." Judge, making two statements indicating he had an intent to shoot up the club before he did actually shoot up the club. So the people do believe that I've proven the premeditation and deliberation needed for murder one. Judge, I do believe I've met all the elements needed in the charges and the amended information to a probable cause standard. And I reserve any argument if the court has any questions.
All right. We just have an overabundance of stupid people in my city who do stupid things. You know, you have, for lack of a better word, a coward who, instead of resolving their differences in a fight or an argument, have to pull out a gun and start shooting, and then end up shooting not only the intended person, but innocent victims as well. As far as the resulting resisting, obstructing a police officer goes, that's caught on video. We see the defendant, the police trying to take the defendant or detain the defendant, and he takes off running, you know, and it gives me an appreciation for how brave these police officers are. And I don't in any way want to seem sexist, but this was a female police officer who pretty much hawked the defendant down and got him into custody. A defendant who was armed at the time and somebody had just been killed. You know, they don't run away from situations, they run to them. And I have to give her her props for what she did and how she brought the defendant into custody. I don't think her bravery should go unnoticed. But I don't think there's any clear example of a defendant resisting and obstructing a police officer in the discharge of her duties. Court has no issue whatsoever in binding the defendant over on that charge. As far as the assault with intent to murder go, we have Mr. Weems, who indicates that the gun was pointed in his direction. Lo and behold, he gets shot in the thigh, even if it is a graze wound. I think it's at least a question of fact to determine whether or not he did so with the intent to kill or whether he was trying to kill someone else. Why is he out there firing these multiple shots out there? I think there's a question of fact to be determined by a trier of fact as it relates to Mr. Weems. What's the other gentleman's name that was shot in the stomach?
Eric Wright.
Eric Wright. As it relates to Mr. Wright was also shot in the stomach. So whether the defendant was trying to shoot Mr. Wright or trying to shoot someone else, the doctrine of transfer intent could be applicable here. The defendant was certainly trying to kill someone out there and in fact did kill someone, the intended victim. The court finds the people have met their burden of probable cause as relates to the assault with intent to murder, Mr. Wright, as well as Mr. Weems and the accompanying felony firearms. And with the assault with intent to murder, the first degree murder premeditated, the defendant had more than ample time and opportunity to reflect on his thoughts before he took that gun and started firing and shot and killed the intended victim here. The court finds those charges were committed in the city of Detroit, and the court finds probable cause to believe this defendant committed them. Defendant will be bound over to Wayne County Third Circuit Court Criminal Division for further proceedings. His arraignment on the information date and time will be December 19th, 2023 at 9:00 a.m. Defendant will be remanded to the custody of the Wayne County Sheriff.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Sorry, stop that right.
I'm shocked that he looks shocked. I'm sorry, is he saying something?
All right, sir, go ahead, step this way, please. Mr. Meyer, you want to talk to him downstairs.
Sir? Yes, sir. Step this way, please.
This way.
Have a good day, Mr. Nine Heist.
You Judge.
Thank you so much. Your Honor?
Yeah,
Can you give a second, please?
sure. I'll do that right now.
Thank you.
Having control of it.
Oh, so I would put it as here, okay?
No, it's not. No. I think that's go out.
Can I get copy of your rules?
You can have some.
Okay, sure. I'll get a copy of those.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be nasty. I mean,
Oh,
it's
I
all
know you're
about-
not.
it's all about safety and security.
I know, and it's like.
It's just like, I just want pencil
Yeah,
because of,
yeah, he could have stabbed me with a pencil.
well, you know what, it's a golf pencil, sir, not even.
Still could have still stabbed
Okay,
me.
I'm done.
I mean, if we're gonna talk about this thin wire, I don't think they should have any.
I would not expect it from you, sir, but you have a blessed day.
I'm just saying, you gotta
Okay.
pick one thing.
I'm gonna always follow the rules, so I'm just gonna tell you what the rules is for me. Now, if you don't like it, you can address it with my supervisor.
I'll make a copy of it.
You going to jail, can you take those type items in?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's secured area.
I don't care about that. I just want to be sure.
Yeah.
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 Well, folks, that concludes the docket for today. Hope to see you tomorrow. Same bat station, same bat time. Have a good day.
Have a good day, Your Honor. Feel good.
Get in here.
I have to run out and grab something. You guys can stay pretty full now. Give me 2 seconds. Because I have to add the other counts. Okay. So what are those things? Because I thought you told us to add the other counts. I have, 2 seconds. I don't know off the top of my head. You want me to add Kip? When we said Kip next door? Is she next door? Yeah, you can ask her. I do have it upstairs, I know. Okay. Yeah, we told her down here earlier.
Sure, like coffee, go ahead. Remember when you get outside.
Oh, I know.
Ms. Glenn, I guess we're waiting on you because they don't know what codes we need. I gotta wait on this paperwork, so I have to give them everything. I'll call them. You're all right. I'll call so you can leave. I got you.
You can't pass the paperwork off anymore. You should. That you got other.
Yes, you guys can come and get, Mr. Crane, he's a little agitated, so I just thought I would let you know. What he said. All right. Okay. Oh, the copy. Right. And I'm supposed to have shot you.